Hey everybody, it's Jason here. How are you all doing in this moment? So this is the second episode of our new Zen poetry series. If you haven't seen the introductory video, I put a link down below to that video, so you might want to watch that first and then watch this one. So in this video, I'm going to share some poems that people sent me. Now, I've received a lot of poems in the YouTube comments, but also emails. I have exchanges all the way back from probably 2001. I have selected some poems for this video, and they're not necessarily the ones that I thought were the best or coming from a specific person. It was very random and very intuitive. I'm going to share some poetry exchanges, meaning somebody wrote a poem and I responded with the poem. Now, it's not to correct the first poem. I just want to make that very clear. Usually my response will kind of demonstrate or acknowledge the teaching I shared in the first video. So if you haven't seen the first video, check out the link below. And that teaching that I shared was opposites thinking, before thinking, and the third point was the truth in this moment, or function in this moment. So when you see my response, this is the point that I'm highlighting. Now, since I've received so many submissions of poems, I can't get them all into the video. So what I've decided to do that I'm going to put it up on my website. So anybody who's in the Patreon community will have access to all of the poems. And I'm talking about all of the exchanges I had in the past year, maybe even before that. Some of the poems that were posted in the YouTube comments, and also some of the poems I received by email. So if you're in the Patreon community, you're going to have access to all of those poems. Let's get started with the first poem. Our first poem is from YouTube user Elewint. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it signs his name as Eli. Some of you know Eli. He's posted a few poems in some of my videos. Now this poem is a comment from the video Demons and Bliss, where I visited the Golden Gate Bridge. So let's take a look at this poem. The Golden Gate is not golden. So is it orange or red? Is it form or emptiness? And where is its gate? Be careful. Mara is licking his lips. Demons are born in heaven. Bliss is born in hell. Where are you born? Over the bridge, through the gate. Green hills, ocean waves. So very interesting poem. I like how it was pointed to different parts of the video. First part is the Golden Gate Bridge. The next part, I was talking about demons and bliss and mentioned Mara. I mentioned earlier about the 3 points, opposites thinking, the mind before thinking, and the realm of this moment. That's truth and function. So you can see in the beginning of his poem, he talks about opposites thinking. Is it orange or red? Is it form or emptiness? And has a little more opposites. Demons are born in heaven. Bliss is born in hell. Where are you born? So this question is very interesting because when we really sincerely ask this question, we return to the mind before thinking. We have a Zen koan. What was your original face before you were born? Our intellectual thinking cannot answer this. So when we return to before thinking, then our mind is clear. Over the bridge, through the gate, green hills, ocean waves. Our next poem here is an exchange that I had with Monica. Monica was a practitioner in Mexico. I believe 2004 and 5. Zen Master De Kwang and I went to Mexico to help lead some retreats and do some precept ceremonies. So I kept in touch with Monica, and she sent me the following poem. Today's still winter. Tomorrow spring will come. Winter or spring, just in my mind. The sun shines everywhere, even if I'm blind. My response was, today winter ran away. Tomorrow and spring will never come. Winter, spring, and your mind. Where do they come from? If you attain this, your true self will shine everywhere. You must become blind, then everything will become clear. Outside the sun is shining, the trees sway back and forth. This is something I usually do when I'm responding to a poem. Whatever somebody says, I'll say the opposite. I learned this from the sixth ancestor of Zen, Hyon. So she says, today, still winter, tomorrow spring will come. I replied that today winter ran away. Tomorrow and spring will never come. Winter or spring just in my mind, she said. So I asked, winter, spring, and your mind, where do they come from? I'm trying to just ask a question to help return to this before thinking mind. Then if we attain this before thinking mind, then our true self will shine everywhere. So not just the sun, this whole universe is shining. You must become blind. And again, this is kind of playing with opposites. Then everything will become clear. So everything will become clear is just an explanation. How do we express that? Outside, the sun is shining. The trees sway back and forth. Here's a poem from YouTube user David108. His poem: The sun rules the day. The moon rules the night. The sun becomes the moon, and the moon becomes the sun. But actually, originally there's no sun, no moon. Everything becomes one. The moon gives us calmness and the sun enjoyment. Which one do you like the most? Hot! The sun is shining and the birds are chirping outside. Looking at this poem, we can see, again, first there's some statement, the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night. We have some opposites there, day and night. Then the sun becomes the moon, and the moon becomes the sun. This is the teaching, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. But actually, originally there is no sun, no moon. No form, no emptiness. So everything becomes one. The moon gives us calmness and the sun enjoyment. Which one do you like the most? Kind of an interesting line, right? Because we're always wanting something and avoiding something else. Then there's this belly shout, this hut, that cuts through all of this opposites thinking, cuts through theory and understanding, and just leaves us with the simple truth. The sun is shining and birds are chirping outside. Here's another poem exchange with Siew Kon Sum. Makes many comments on my YouTube channel. His poem: Our inner true nature is God, which can perceive all things. It's ever bright and never dies. It's beginningless and endless. It neither moves nor stays. It neither comes nor goes. Most don't know it's within, never realized it in their life. My response: our inner ignorance is the demon, which clouds all things. It is ever dark and always lives. It is beginning and ending. It is always moving and staying. It always comes and goes. Most don't know it's within, never realized it in their life. What can you do? Hut! The sun is setting in the west. So usually when I respond to these, I don't think about it. And I don't do hardly any editing unless it's a grammar issue. Again, I'm playing with opposites. So our inner true nature is God. I say our inner ignorance is the demon. We kind of play with these form is emptiness, emptiness is form realm. This is a realm of understanding, opposites thinking. If you notice on the fourth section here, I copy the 2 lines exactly. Most don't know it's within, never realized it in their life. This is pointing to that most of us don't see our ignorance. They don't see the division we create between ourselves and the rest of this world, creating the opposites world. So that's why I asked, so what can you do? And again, we have a loud belly shout, cut. Then the truth of the moment at that time, the sun is setting in the west. I would like to leave you with a poem I wrote. I was at the Providence Zen Center. I'm not sure when this poem appeared. Rain coming, rain going. Sitting in the Zen Center office. Am I living or dying? All things are changing. Yet in this moment, nothing is changing. What is life? What is death? True self has no life or death. Is that correct? Ho! The sun is piercing through the clouds. The room is shining bright. I hope you enjoyed those poems. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. And also remember, if you have a poem, please put it in the comments below, and I will see you soon.